Did you hear that?
What?
I had a dream last night that filled me full of fright.
That noise.
The devil below in his great big fiery hall.
Was that the horror comedy podcast?
With Jake and Haley, Sundays and Wednesdays.
Gazing at the merry crowd who came to witness the show.
The only podcast where we get high and try to scare you and share short, scary stories.
I knew that the devil
Contains marijuana. Keep away from children.
I saw the cute Mrs. Devil so pretty and fast.
It's the horror comedy podcast.
With Haley and Jake.
And you, the listener.
you.
Welcome to the only Scarawana podcast, home of the Scarapy.
Home of the Scarapy.
That's right. We firmly believe in getting high as balls, forgetting our problems, getting lost in scary stories. You'll come out of the other side feeling better, unless you're Jake.
You had me there in the beginning, and you lost me towards the scary stuff.
Okay.
But the high part,
We love that.
I'm here for that.
We love that. That's pretty much...
Honestly, I think that might be the only reason I'm here.
It might be. That and maybe like me a little. Maybe.
That too.
The whole point of the podcast, the whole reason that we smoke and then we scare, it's because I personally, and I feel like most people feel this way too, I think things are just easier to be scared by when you're high, right? Like there's that trope of a paranoid stoner, and there's a part of that that's true. It's easier to suspend your disbelief. It's easier for you to put yourself there and think to yourself, what would I do? How would I survive?
I can tell you right now that if I know I'm going to be scared, I don't know if I want to get high. Like, I don't know. But then I just like getting high all the time. So I just need to be prepared to react when I'm high. So I have to be high all the time, and I'll know how to react.
I mean, that's the only... Soot! Yeah, the whole thing we're going to do tonight is I'm going to present to you,
To me.
and Jake,
And you.
and the listener, I'm going to present to you a scary story. This is something I've researched, I put together, wrote a little script.
Have we ever done this before?
Maybe once or twice. At the end of the podcast, we'll tell a happy story, right?
How many episodes do we have? We have 70 episodes?
This is episode 69 right now.
Greatest episode ever! This one and episode 420. Whoa.
Forever hold a place in our heart. Tonight is going to be really good.
I took 20 milligrams of edibles without even knowing, so
That's
I feel like I
Jake
could
feels good.
take more.
Jake, how are ya?
Good. I'm great. I'm so fucking high.
We ask this question at the end of every scary story, but let's ask you just now. Like, are you scared? What's your baseline? Are you scared?
Not yet. I mean, we had a pack of cigarettes outside in our side yard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I saw we were drinking. I was drinking. And I thought I saw someone in the side yard. And I went to the front door and looked, and I didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, whatever. Cool. But then Haley goes out today and is like, yo, someone stole my cigarettes.
Yep.
And I was like, what? I did see someone.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling...
Like, validated and also scared.
Yeah.
Well, not scared. I'm not scared. I'm also not really upset because I'm not like a regular smoker. Like, I smoke when I drank.
That man saved your life.
That man took however many minutes, that I was going to cut off my life, and he took it into his life. And he clearly needed it worse than us. I just am uncomfortable that there was somebody right there.
Yeah, close. I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't love that.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
So, we are on code red lockdown.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We must, every night, lock the doors and windows.
Yep.
Tops, bottoms,
All of it.
windows.
And when I finish a pack of cigarettes next time, we're going to fill it with cat shit and leave it
shit
outside.
in there.
Yeah, that's kind of been our week.
Love it.
Love it. I've been having some mental health allergies, but I guess I'm doing better in general. That's great. And then...
I think you're doing great.
Thanks. And then an old man yelled at me in the grocery store and someone stole my cigarettes out of the yard. So it's like, am I doing great? Or is my life spiraling out of control?
That's just life, baby. It's 2021.
Sometimes old people yell at you at the grocery store.
And you just gotta yell back.
I should have yelled.
No, I think you handled it perfectly.
He said, damn it, people, or something, because he was mad that he couldn't figure out how lines work. And I said, you're the only one confused. And then he got all pissy, and I felt really bad for his son. He had a son with him, too, so I felt really bad for his son. Fuck that guy. And fuck Kellyanne Conway. And fuck anyone who yells at children or me at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Because I'm a child.
It's been a little bit since we've covered a case like this. Like a survival sort of situation, a true crime situation.
If you will.
I did have to give Jake a warning a few days ago that 2 people were going to die tonight.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yep. So that's
It's the
unfortunate.
marijuana.
2 people are going to die tonight, and I want you to know that. We have a candle lit between us in the dark room, and it seems so dramatic that I'm telling him this. Like, I feel like I am like a cult leader.
Like it. I feel like you're definitely telling a scary story, and your glasses are like blocking.
I look like an anime villain.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about this story so much is like sometimes something I like in movies. I will point out a few that do this for me, like Saw, Creep.
Creep is good.
Green Room. I can't really think of any others.
Saw is not good. Why is that in there with those 2?
Those are the movies that when I watch them, I'm thinking the whole time, what would I do? What would I do? What move would I make to not die, right? And I love when a story or a movie or a situation that I'm hearing about gets me in that place. Those are the kind of horror medias that I really look forward to.
Those are like, that one's really gory.
It's very
It's
gory.
not like Green Room.
Green Room's very gory. It's gory.
All right, I guess it was a little gory.
Creep
And
wasn't
what
gory.
was the other one you said? Creep.
Creep
now.
was not gory. At the end, that was fucking brutal.
Rewatch Creep.
Let's go.
Really remember.
Oh my God, babe. I'm traumatized forever. Anytime I see a lake with a bench, I feel uncomfortable.
We should go to the bench.
I can't handle it. I would never sit on a bench by a lake overlooking a mountain. I would throw up and die before I did that. You need to watch the movie Creep if you want to know why.
Watch it.
You gotta watch
There's
it.
a second
You gotta
one
watch
just as good as the first one, right?
I love the second one. I like it better almost because she is more sensible than
stop.
Aaron. Aaron's
Stop.
just like, oh, this is fun. This is fine. The thing that I like about these medias is that it's easy to put yourself there. It's easy to think, what would you do to survive? And
WWJD. What would Jacob
what would
do?
Jesus do? Oh,
What?
I misunderstood. What would Jacob do?
Same thing. Honestly.
Same thing. And I think something that kind of makes it easier to picture yourself there is when it's a setting that is beautiful, somewhere you would actually go. So I'm going to show you these pictures, and if you guys want to see it, you can check out our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter, or just our episode art if you're on Spotify or whatever. But these are some gorgeous, gorgeous pictures, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to figure out what you think about it, and then I'll kind of tell you more about it. You're an outdoorsy fella.
I'm an outdoorsy guy. I like it. Born and raised in the north of Minnesota, not in the city.
Not in the city. Spent a lot of time in the dense woods. So would you...
Would you? I spent a lot of time in the woods. Sorry.
May 6, 2008. 33-year-old Sean Farmer headed out to Dismal Creek.
Dismal Creek. Sounds bad already.
It's a really good point. It's like if you see Dismal Creek on a map, it's maybe not first on your to-do list.
I would like to go to Happy Joy Creek.
Happy River.
Happy River. It really got me.
Not Dismal Creek.
Because someone saw it and they were like, wow,
This
river makes me happy.
Like
Someone went to Dismal Creek and they're like,
2 people look like they're going to
"Not
die
very
here,
nice.
I would assume.
This is actually pretty dismal.
This is a shithole.
Fuck does that mean, guy?
Yeah.
Dismal.
That is a really good
Doesn't
point.
sound
Why did he
good.
name it that? And then
Yeah.
it has this crazy reputation.
I name it Happy Lake.
I name it
Lake Happy.
This is Fine Plaza. Who says it can't be a plaza?
Cousin of Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, love it. So, yeah, this is in this place, Dismal Creek. It's in southwestern Giles County in Virginia, which is located along the Appalachian Trail.
That's the banjo.
So Sean actually loved fishing and camping. He was going to meet up with his
As
pal.
one does.
As one does when you live in the dense woods on the East Coast and there's nothing else to do. And Sean frequently met up with his friend Scott Johnson to go hang out at Dismal Creek and go.
Scott Johnson.
Scott Johnson and Sean Farmer are the most generic names I've ever heard. Scott and Sean went up to Dismal Creek often. It was kind of their spot. That's where they went camping, where they went.
Their spot.
It was their spot. They went fishing.
Yes.
They went fishing up there. They went camping up there, and they had been up there more
They
times.
shared many moments at Dismal Creek.
Tons of happy moments. I mean,
Yep.
I'm making gay jokes, Jake, because
No.
that's not it for me.
Well, I wasn't judging them.
Okay.
Very happy for them.
They're not gay.
Okay.
Um,
if they could be, if they want to be.
So Scott and Sean, they went up there often. That's where they went fishing, where they went camping. They had kind of frequented Dismal Creek, and they said it was so familiar to them. It was like their backyard.
We've been here. We do this. We come up here every weekend. We've killed lots of fish.
Tons of fish.
Put a dent in it, I'd say.
I mean, the fish wives and fish children are fucking
know
traumatized.
yeah.
Yeah. Sean was headed up the mountain to go meet with his friend Scott, where
To
they
the creek.
always met. On the way
To their special spot.
to their special spot. On the way, Sean stopped for gas, and he made small talk with the clerk. And the clerk was like, "Are you going up to hike the Appalachian Trail?"
Nah, not today, not for me.
"Not for me. I'm just going up to fish in them there mountains with my
I
friend
live
Scott."
here. Jeff, you know me.
You know me, Jeff. We have this
Jeff, where do you
conversation
think-
every weekend.
Where do you think I'm going?
Jeff. Sean is like, "No, I'm going up to Dismal Creek to go fishing with my friend." And the clerk is like, "Oh, that's crazy, because there's these two hikers that just came through here that literally ran down that mountain from Dismal Creek." They said
I thought it was dismal.
they said they went up there to go fishing or whatever, and there was all this scary shit carved into the rocks and trees.
Yeah, it wasn't dismal. It was Scary Shit Creek.
Scary shit
Okay.
creek. I can't even say those words
Scary
together.
Shit Creek.
Scary shit creek. And some of the messages were like, "Die, I'll kill you, get out, you'll die here," stuff like that.
Terrifying.
Really terrifying. And it was enough for these,
Probably they're cooking meth up there.
maybe, and
That's how you scare people off from wandering too close to your meth hut.
and it would work for me.
Yeah,
And it worked,
honestly, yeah.
it
would.
worked for these hikers. They turned around, they ran down this mountain,
Wussies.
and they were actually going to hitchhike home. And they just stopped at this gas station along the way. And they were shook
Too bad there's not like Lyft.
back then in
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah. They can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like call Lyft to the Appalachian Trail.
Please come get me. Sean does take note of what the clerk said, but he doesn't take it too seriously. And he goes up there anyway.
Bro, I'm strapped. I got my poles.
I have my buddy Scott.
I got my
Scott's a killing
strap.
machine. Sean goes anyway, and he goes deep into the isolated woods. Just about as deep as a human being can get, like Jake's lifting his eyebrows at me. Wonderful. Literally, you couldn't get any further by car. And he rolls up. He sees where Scott's car is parked, and he parks next to him.
Dup, sorry to her.
Strolls up, sees Scott's tent. Scott's not there. And he's not too worried about that, because Scott comes out here all the time, and Scott's not a person who likes to do nothing. So Scott's probably just started fishing already at the creek.
Collecting firewood for
Yeah,
camp.
exactly. There's tons of things he could be shitting,
Literally making a trip from the bathhouse.
Yeah. And there's nothing's fishy. Like, all this stuff's there. Everything's good. So Sean starts to get unpacked, get set up, gets his tent pitched, and then he starts to put together his fishing pole. He's kind of kneeling, because this is like a fucking giant fishing pole, and it's basically like a string in a metal tube, and it looks very stressful, and I would not want to do that.
It's for protective purposes.
Well,
And now he must pay the consequences, because it will not protect him.
why did you say it
What
was
is
for
about to
protective
happen?
purpose?
Oh, for your fishing pole. The long tubes. So they have long tubes. They put the fishing pole in so they don't damage him.
Oh, okay.
Smart.
That's smart. So he gets it out, and he starts putting it together. He's kind of in a vulnerable position, and he hears a twig snap.
Probably a fly fishing rod,
I don't know.
because it's a creek. So that's what they do.
Oh, that's some insider knowledge there. Old
Brought to you by
country
your
boy.
resident country person.
Love it. And as he's kneeling there and like getting his shit all together, he hears the first sound from another human being besides himself that he's heard the whole time. He hears a twig snap, and before he even has a chance to react, there's a man in front of him who just creeped out of the woods. He seemed to come out of nowhere. And this guy, he's wearing a full camouflage getup. He's wearing a hunting vest, and he's wearing combat boots.
You can't see him.
You can't see him. I think
What
it's
is
weird.
there? What is right there? Because it's camouflage. Whoa, man! It's a floating head. That's what it's like.
That's what it's like.
Because
But
you can't see his body.
seriously, though, I think it's really weird to be wearing that. I think it's like wearing a blue life vest in the ocean. It's like there's so many other colors you could wear that would actually make sense, and you're wearing the one color that allows you to not be seen, and I think that's weird. It's not necessary.
I mean, up there, though, if you're local, like, that's just what you wear. When it's hunting season, they'll put an orange vest on it and keep wearing it.
And that's it.
That's it.
I think that's so weird. But I'm also rude. So there's that. And the guy, he's just standing there in front of Sean. And Sean's
fishing pole.
Sean's looking at him, and he's like, first of all, kind of like, what the fuck are you wearing? And then second of all, he's like, where the fuck did you come from?
What's up, Hunter Dan?
Who the fuck are you? And then
Who the fuck are you?
And the guy just says, you must be Sean. Sean's like, yeah, I am. And the guy goes on to say, Scott said he would meet you here. I'm Ricky Williams.
First off, okay, ain't nobody but a serial killer tell you their last name. And you know why? It's a comfort thing. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm Ricky Williams. Like,
he doesn't care if you know his whole name.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh yeah, my name. Why would I tell you my whole entire name if I was gonna murder you?
Right, and it's almost like assurance that they're not gonna let you live.
Yeah,
because you know their whole name. And Sean's trying to be cool and cordial, and he's like, "Oh, Ricky Williams, like, haha, like the football player, like, haha." Like, he's trying to make small talk, you know. Okay. He's trying to make it less weird.
No idea if that's a.
I think it's a black man, and so he goes on to make this joke like, "You don't look much like him." Like, haha, that's like white boy humor. Ricky goes on to say, "Scott and I were just fishing up on Dismal Creek, and he said that I could join you guys for supper." And Sean's like, "Yeah, I guess that's cool. Like, that's fine." And then the guy doesn't really say anything, but he just gets up and he starts collecting wood. Sean's like, "Fucking sweet. That's a great idea."
I have to less chore.
Exactly. So Sean thought that Ricky was kind of weird. He noticed that Ricky didn't make like direct eye contact with him.
Yep.
So that's
weirdo.
Kind of weird. That would make me uncomfortable for sure. And but you know, he's just kind of thinking that Ricky is probably just awkward. And the Appalachian Trail actually has a culture that promotes helping others. If you have something, you give it, and people most likely give you something back, and that's just how it is up there.
Minnesota are.
Yeah. It's something about being in the woods where, you know, probably you can't get an ambulance very fast, but your neighbor's right there, you know? Gotta stick together. Checks out. So Scott comes back to camp, and he's like, "Hey, Sean, I'm so happy you're here." Like, maybe they hug. I don't know what men do in the woods.
Found each other?
Yeah, Scott just came back to camp.
Gotcha.
So he's not dead.
Okay.
He's not dead.
All right. Oh, that was a lie I told earlier.
Yeah. Jake thought it was Scott that was dead. Scott's not dead yet. Okay.
You said yet.
He's not dead yet. Everybody's good so far.
Damn you.
Damn you. Scott comes to camp and he's like,
"Oh, look at this fucking weirdo I met, dude. He was scaring people up there. I had to get him off the mountain."
So, good guess. Scott comes up and he's like, "Hey, I caught some fish. They were practically jumping into the cooler. You should start a fire and we will get some food going." And Sean's like, "You're a fucking genius." So
your new best friend Ricky is on it. Told me how great a friend you guys are. Why am I even here?
Best friend Ricky.
Yeah, why do you even invite me if you're just going to meet some fucking guy up here? Disgusting.
That would kind of hurt my feelings.
And the guy's like, "Well, I got 8 fish.
I have a lot of fish, though. So can you please stay for dinner?" They cleaned the fish. They cooked some burgers on the fire. There's
Where'd
literally
they catch
nothing
burgers?
better. They caught some burgers in the river.
Nice.
That's
what river is that? Is there wild glizzies out there,
wild
too?
Glizzies.
Wild glizzies.
Roller dogs.
Wild blizzies.
It's a top secret, Jake. I can't share that information with you.
Show me. Where is this at? In the Appalachian Trail. Okay.
It's on Mind Your Business Mountain.
It's none of your business.
On the corner of Nunya Business Avenue. That's right, baby. And it's starting to get dark at this point. So it's just these three dudes.
Did Ricky Martin have the fucking fire done yet?
Yeah, they just cooked all that stuff on the fire.
Dope.
Yeah, so they just had
How'd they cook it?
Pay.
Sorry. Show me the depth.
I guess I missed their episode of like Hell's Kitchen or whatever where they
just had like a recipe linked to this for fried tilapia or something.
When I'm scared for my life in the woods, what really hits the spot is a seared tilapia. Yeah.
If you get some river trout, that's even better.
And it just pisses me off because it's like 6 paragraphs before the recipe. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway. So they cleaned the fish, they cooked the fish, they ate burgers, they had like a nice big dinner. It's just 3 dudes, all full, all satisfied, probably tired from running around in the woods fishing all day, doing man stuff, and it's just the sound of the fire crackling.
Love that sound.
Right?
If anybody talks, it kind of ruins it.
I know. So that's probably where they're at right now, especially being at the end of the day. They're all tired.
Ricky, can you sing us one of your Spanish love songs?
Please. And Ricky breaks the silence and he says,
Farts. Just blah. Yeah. Sorry.
Ricky, so Ricky breaks the silence and he says, I guess you guys know these woods pretty well, huh? And they're like, yeah, I mean, we're out here all the time. And he's like, oh, cool. Ricky's like, yeah, I bet you do know the Appalachian Trail. Y'all know the trail that runs through here? And they're like, uh-huh. And he's like, oh, so y'all must have heard about the AT killer then. And Sean has no idea what he's talking about.
If anybody brings up a serial killer, they are the serial killer. Just assume that and kill them.
It is a really scary, shady thing to say. Do you want this joint?
What's your name?
You want this or no?
No.
Okay.
Who are you? What is in that joint? Is it drugs? Are you trying to drug me, Ricky Martin?
So Ricky's like,
heard he's got a cool first name and a second name. He likes to tell you both of them right before he kills you.
Yeah.
His name's Ricky Martin. Huh? Ricky
Williams. So Sean is completely confused. He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And Scott actually seems to kind of know a little bit what's going on. And he's like, oh, that happened down in Carolina, right? And Ricky was like, no. The AT killer from 81, that happened about 3 yards down. And they're both kind of, Sean and Scott are both kind of looking at each other now. So, like, Jake, imagine you're out in the woods with your fucking homie. Like, maybe you and other Jake go camping. And you meet somebody and he sits down and he starts telling you this. You're going to pull the gun? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to pull my strap instantly.
Just set it on your lap with your finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
Just to set the message.
I would, yeah.
It is a creepy thing to say.
Yeah. Rack one into the shotgun.
Ricky continues to tell them about what happened back in 81. I'm just gonna
they're just Googling it real quick.
It's 2008 and I can't remember. I don't think smartphones were real yet.
They pulled out their razors.
And they were like frantically trying to pay $1 to use the internet for 24 hours. Remember that?
Click, 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 click,
Barely
click,
works.
Yeah.
May 1981, Robert Mountford was hiking the entire Appalachian Trail for charity. He was starting in Maine.
This is the rumor that the story he's telling?
This is the story that Ricky is telling Sean and Scott. So Robert set out from Maine, and he was going to hike all the way to Georgia. Because, see, Robert was a social worker, and he was trying to raise money for this new facility for troubled youth back home.
And he was like, I'm going to take 8 months off of my job.
Peace.
And do this.
I mean,
like,
it's a
what
win-win.
Do you mean, bro? Like, are they going to pay you?
I imagine it's like a marathon where people sponsor you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you tap out, I think they pay like whatever is equal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the deal.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah. Kind of like
I might do it.
Someone's betting against you almost, right? It's kind of motivating.
I'm going to do it. It's going to take me a long time.
So Ricky continues, and he's like, oh, yeah, and his girlfriend Susan Ramsey joined up with him. And the plan was she was going to hike. Ricky continues. Both of them were 27. They were in their prime. They didn't know that this would be their last trip, though. You see, somewhere along these trails, they met a stranger. Right down the creek at Wapiti Shelters where they were staying.
That's fucked up. Okay. That's like, obviously you're the creepy stranger, motherfucker.
It was a peaceful day. It was May. It was beautiful. It was, it was a nice spring day, and they were just fishing over at Dismal Creek, and all of a sudden somebody walked up to them, and before they could even tell what happened, it was too late.
It's weird that he knows the details of it.
They were found 4 days later by a cadaver dog.
Cool. Was his name Cadaver, or is that just his job title?
That's his job title.
Oh. That's morbid.
Robert had
sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah, my name's fucking Will.
And you know,
Cadaver dog.
he's like, I love people. It's nice when they're alive when I
it's
walk
better
up to
when
them.
they're dead. No.
Yeah. It's not a great life.
Find, dead body.
Aww. Why isn't he petting me?
He loves ball.
Yeah, this dog loves corpses.
Loves cadavers.
He loves them. Robert had been shot in the head once. Susan, though, she struggled for her life. She'd been shot through the hands. She had nails missing from fighting so hard. She'd been hit in the head. She got hit in the head 13 times with something that had a nail in it. I don't know. And she got stabbed.
Nail stick.
And you know what?
That's a bum weapon.
It is a bum weapon. And
nail stick.
She was so fucked up that they couldn't even really tell what else happened to her. Sean and Scott are like, blink, blink. Like,
well, that's disgusting.
What? Like, I don't even know what I would say. I don't even know what I would do in this situation.
I'd be like, so where do you live? Start texting. Beep, 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 beep.
I think realistically, what I would do is I would just look at you, and then I'd look at the truck, and then I would be rude as fuck and just run into the truck with you and leave. I mean,
I can tell you exactly what I would do. Okay. Would dial 911 on my phone, and then just drop it, leave it there. Okay, because I can track it. Okay. And then I'd pull my gun out, and I'd be like, babe, get in the truck. And then we'd get in the truck, we would drive away, and then we would shoot his car.
Uh-huh. Good.
Fuck you, guy.
Good.
And then we survive.
That's good. We survived.
And 911 will be in that location very soon because the cell phone is still on, and they're tracking it.
And then Randy continues, and he says, yeah, and then... Ricky.
Oh, I was like, God damn, I hate Randy. Yeah, shoot him.
Randy, hate him. And then Ricky continues, and he says, yeah, and then they found the guy, and they...
But they never found the killer.
No. They found the guy, and they locked him in a cage.
Oh, they did find him?
Yeah. And he got arrested and stuff. Sean was like, well, good. That keeps the woods safe for the rest of us.
See, that's what I would say if I was Ricky, too. Oh, yeah, they caught him. He's definitely not
here right now.
Here. Yeah.
Definitely not.
That fucking... Well, good night, guys. I'm going to go
and,
camp 3 yards over there.
I mean, that's pretty much
memories.
like literally what happened. Ricky was like, all right, well, I'm going to go.
Yeah, see, that's just that. I mean, that's kind of a dick thing to do. There are those people out there.
Tell them scary ass stories and then
they
leave.
wear camouflage, fucking for no reason.
Yeah,
they
weird.
Just, like jump out,
scare the shit out of you, and then leave.
Yeah. Hey guys, they're jungler.
So Sean and Scott, they wait to make sure that like they can hear the guy's footsteps tapering off, and Sean looks at Scott and he's like, "Why would you invite him here?"
Yeah, bro. I was just trying to be nice.
And Scott was like, I didn't invite him here. I was up fishing at the creek, and that guy came up and told me that there was no fish here and I should go somewhere else. And I told him that wasn't true because I was catching hella fish. And then I came back, and you were hanging out with him, so I thought you invited him. And Sean's like, I thought you invited him.
He said you invited him.
And then they realized at that moment, like, how creepy the whole thing actually was. And they kind of discussed, like, how the guy wouldn't make eye contact and how creepy the story was. And, like, you know, they'd been local, so they heard, I guess. They kind of sort of knew, but they didn't know.
Legend type stuff.
Yeah, they didn't know all that, though. And they didn't know what happened right there. And now, with no other sound but the fire, the atmosphere was completely different. Much scarier.
Yeah, I fucking bet.
Yeah.
Buzzkill.
Like, they wished they could probably pull a lampshade cord and then, like, turn on the lamp in the woods.
They wish they could have shot him when they had the chance.
Right.
Now he's loose.
Now he's
loose in the woods, dumbasses. You think you're gonna sleep? I'll be sleeping. I would just leave.
I would just leave.
Sorry.
I really would just leave.
I would just leave.
I would just
I ain't
leave.
sleeping there. I ain't sleeping in my
No,
car.
I wouldn't be able to sleep out there at all, period. At that
I'd
point,
be like, all right, well, I'm going to pack up. Let's make the fire a little bigger.
that's exactly what they're thinking. The fire is starting to die down a little bit. And Scott,
all the wood.
Scott is so shook. So Scott gets up and he kneels down. He's starting to kind of tend to the fire, put more stuff on it. And Sean can't even think of anything to say when all of a sudden
was that?
A shot rings out. Sean's ears begin to ring. He says he starts to drool and he can feel warm liquid
Fuck. Quit doing the damn sound effects. Okay? Don't like it.
It's too creepy. And then 2 more shots.
Bang, bang. KK.
Sean's head was ringing. He could only see out of his left eye. He was drooling. He didn't know what happened. He oriented himself a little bit, all wobbly, definitely nauseous, not sure what's going on. And he could see his friend Scott literally splurting blood out of his neck, running off into the woods. And he could see Ricky Williams shooting again at Scott and hitting him in the back as he disappears into the tree line. Meanwhile, Sean is still there. He's been shot in the head, in the face. Like, he doesn't know what's going on, but it hurts, clearly. Ricky walks up, holds the gun up, fires again. It's empty. Sean knows that shit has already gone too far. He knows that Ricky doesn't have any more ammo, though, and he sees his truck, and he has like a light bulb moment. He left his keys in the ignition. So he gets up and fucking tanks it. I'm sure that was the scariest moment of his life because Ricky's probably chasing him. You don't know if he has more ammo. You don't know if he's square enough to shoot at you again. But he jumps in his truck. He turns the ignition. It turns on, no problem, and he peels the fuck out. So that's amazing. But the thing is that they're on top of a fucking mountain. There's cliffs. It's all tight, winding turns, and it's pitch dark outside with no outside light sources. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of already hard, especially if you've just been shot in the face.
That would make it difficult.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. So...
But he's fight or flight right now, so he's
exactly.
Adrenaline.
And he doesn't know what happened to his friend.
His friend is definitely dead.
He takes off. He peels down the mountain. He is driving down the road.
Holy fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, I would just be like, what the fuck, what the fuck?
And every little bump in the road, is hurting. Every sound the engine makes is hurting. Every movement you make, and your ears are ringing, you're drooling like, yeah, I can't imagine. And then, to his terror, he sees a human figure run out to the road in front of him. He slams on the brakes.
Fuck no.
It's Scott.
Damn, all right, good job.
Scott hops in the passenger
Holy
seat.
shit! All right, I'm about it now.
Yep, he's got a big ass hole in his neck that he
in it?
plugged with his finger.
That's hard.
Hard as fuck. And he is actually still able to talk, so that's incredible. He's checking on Sean. Are you all right? Are you all right? And then periodically he kind of starts to dip out. Sean asks him to keep watch. And it's partially because he's scared that Ricky's going to come back, but it's also partially because he doesn't want Sean to pass out, you know? Mm-hmm. So Sean is maneuvering, and Scott's looking out all the windows with his fucking finger in his neck hole, trying to make sure that Ricky doesn't come back out. Oh. Terrible, terrible, awful.
Disgusting.
Scott starts to get...
I wish Ricky would.
Right? I'm gonna run you over. Scott starts to make gurgling noises, and he pleads with his friend Sean, am I going to die? Sean asks Scott...
Yeah, fucking died.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he said. Sean reassured him, we're going to get help. We're going to get help. Keep watch. We're going to get help. They get down this winding road, barely, while Sean's begging Scott to stay with him, and it just seems to be getting darker and darker. Meanwhile, Sean's head is ringing. Everything hurts. Every sound he has to make hurts. There's tight turns. There's cliffs. They get to the last. It's the first house at the end of the road, where Melissa Miller was sitting in her house reading, getting ready to go to bed, when she hears pounding at the door. She opens the door, and these 2 huge men spill into her house, blood pouring out of them. Hysterical.
Oh my God.
Someone shot me. We've been shot. We got attacked. She's like, who did this to you? And they're like, some old guy. He said his name was Ricky Williams. So she calls 911, tells him what's going on, and then she knows it's going to be a while. Can't imagine the kind of fear she was in, you know?
Towels.
And what if he comes there? Yeah. What is Melissa going to do?
Oh, bet fucking
Melissa's
ready.
strapped. She lives alone in the country.
Yeah, exactly. She's got a gun.
She's fine. And then she's kind of sort of getting the story from these gentlemen, and there's just some details about it that spark something in her mind. And she's like, hold on. And she leaves him, and she goes into the kitchen. She's digging through some papers, and she pulls out this missing poster. And it's for Randall Lee Smith. And she shows Sean and Scott the picture, and she's like, is this the guy? And they're like, yeah, that's Ricky Williams. And she's like, no, that's Randall Lee Smith. In 1981, Randall Lee Smith shot and murdered Robert Mountford and Susan Ramsey He had been reported missing by his neighbors 5 days before he killed them. And he was eventually arrested after they found Susan's bloody shorts in his house.
Dumbass.
So he was arrested and he was sentenced to life, but he was paroled 15 years later. And then he was let go into the same community.
Why?
Exactly. And he was living with his mom at first, but she died 4 years after he was paroled from cancer. And so there was nobody to keep Randall Lee Smith in check anymore. And
That's gross.
yeah.
Not into that.
Surprise, surprise. He went out and did it again.
Surprise, surprise. Cops fucked up again.
Again. The good news is that Randall Lee Smith died a painful death that night. He hopped in his truck and trying to chase the men down the road, crashed, went into a coma, and slowly starved to death as they removed him from life support. Yeah.
High five. Hospital system better than the justice system.
So Sean Farmer and Scott Johnson, they both survived.
I thought you said people died.
Susan and Robert got murdered.
You batch. Plot twist.
Plot twist.
That was really good.
You liked that?
No, I hated it.
You hated
that was
it.
really good.
Here's Sean and Scott.
Yo, look, honestly, I love that friendship.
I know, right? They're still hanging out also.
I bet you they're fucking strapped as shit all the time now.
I know. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah, that's probably true. Are you scared, Jake?
First off, I am scared for them. The way you told it was very exciting. But I am not scared because I know that this would never fucking happen to me.
I'm not nice to anybody.
No, especially if you roll up in my fucking campsite. That's why, like, if I would have seen anybody that night camping and they knocked on the truck,
That was scary.
like, I would have shot them.
That was scary, yeah. It was weird.
Okay.
I just also think that it's something we all need to, like, certainly when we have children, we're going to raise them this way.
That was hot, though. That's
But when we have kids, we're definitely going to raise them to...
shoot first.
No,
ask
no.
questions.
To know that it's okay to be rude.
Yeah.
It's okay to be rude.
Yeah.
It's okay to, if a stranger says, oh, your friend said I could eat with you, and your friend comes up and the guy is making you feel weird, it's okay to look at your friend and say, did you invite this guy? And if your friend says no, it's okay to say, can you go?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to put up with somebody, even if that's the culture.
You don't have to.
You do not have
You don't
to.
have to.
If you have a gut feeling, even if it's just anxiety, if you're fucking rude, what's the worst that happens? You fucking survive.
Yep.
Some stranger doesn't like you. Who
Some
fucking
stranger
cares?
doesn't murderize you. And
Yeah.
skull fuck your
Be rude.
corpse.
Be rude. We're done being polite to people.
Done.
We're done with it.
2021.
We're done.
2020 done.
2021 politeness is done.
Ah!
I slapped my mic to show you how much I meant it.
Yeah, that was not polite.
It was not polite.
There.
This is the part of the show where I read you a happy or strange article. We're gonna.
That was still a happy story.
It was a happy story.
I was alive in the 80s, so when those people got shot, so you know, sucks they got shot, but
Well, these
they
guys
should have
got
been
shot in
strapped.
2008, which is
they should have been strapped.
they should have been strapped. I don't know what it was like then.
Rule number, be strapped.
They were in like a global recession. Maybe they didn't have gun money.
Everybody's got gun money.
We're in a global recession right now. I guess
People are buying
people
hella
are
guns.
buying so much
Yeah.
guns.
Guns are so cheap now.
Okay, here's the story. When former President Donald Trump occupied the Oval Office, he quite literally had a button on his desk that ordered a Diet Coke to the room whenever it was pressed.
That is sick.
But as a glimpse at President Biden's desk just hours after his inauguration shows, the soda summoning button is gone.
That's fucked up. Are you serious? Do we have pictures?
Yeah, we do. While it may have sounded just too weird to be true, Trump's Diet Coke obsession and his button to match were absolutely real. No word on if Biden will install some kind of ice cream ordering alternative.
Yo, the people who worked in the White House are just like, yo, do you know what he was fucking doing, man?
Yeah, my
He
only
walked around
job
with no pants on.
My only job was to bring him Diet Coke
And my only job was to clean up the shit he took
every
morning
day in the hallway.
on fucking floor. He's not trained.
He's not potty trained.
I want to read those books.
I know.
Somebody
Yes.
got a book
I
of that?
can't wait. Here's the button.
That thing?
The little wooden box.
The little wood. Oh. Is the Diet Coke button.
Yeah, it's gone.
Is it the same desk?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Did they get
He's
rid of
got
it?
2 phones?
Rob Stone, two damn phones.
That's kind of fucked up.
That's a news article by theweek.com. I have one more.
What was that one letter? The actual letter that he left for Joe Biden?
No. That's from Jersey Shore. The one about Rob motorboating somebody or something?
No.
Oh my God.
I saw that. I keep seeing it on the internet, but I don't know if it's real. The last president writes a letter to the next president, leaves it on the desk. Mm-hmm. Trump wrote him a letter that said, I won, Joe.
I don't know.
And that was it. That was the
Wouldn't
whole letter.
be surprised. What an asshole. Okay. I have one more good article for you. This one doesn't involve politics.
Dope.
As if out of a Sherlock Holmes novel or an Agatha Christie classic, a mystery emerged outside the Wayland Free Public Library last week and has since gained national attention.
Love it. It's an animal story.
Calling all sleuths, the front lawn of the library has been accumulating what appear to be perfectly lovely baked russets, the local librarians explained in a Facebook post on January 14th.
What?
The post reads, 1 potato, 2 potatoes. The front lawn of the library has been accumulating what appear to be perfectly lovely baked russets this week. One appeared early on Monday, and yesterday we noticed a second. None of us can imagine how they got here. Part of a rare potato migration? Kid on a bus revolted by a packed lunch? It's such a dreary day. Maybe one of you will be able to solve this mystery definitively. Maybe you can come up with a better explanation. That's the story.
That's it? Just 2 potatoes?
News of the local mystery quickly made it onto the national spotlight as Stephen Colbert joked about the likelihood of the vegetable responding to a primal potato call to assemble for the Great Potato Uprising. He offered his own outlandish takes on the potato's arrival and then joked about forensics rushing to the scene with bacon bits. Thank God. The truth behind the starchy spud's appearance and origin has yet to be uncovered, but Assistant Director of the library, Andy Moore, told WHDH 7 News Boston that since the suspicious vegetables haven't caused any harm, staffers will leave them right where they are for now.
Gross.
And that's
rotten ass potatoes. It's gonna smell like shit soon.
Smells like
burnt, like potatoes in the sun, baking there
in the rain.
In the rain. That's a disgusting smell.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good at all. That's from Boston.com.
Fucking bean town. So weird.
Weird. If you guys like the podcast, hang out with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. There's links. There's links in the show notes. The best way to support us is to leave a review or tell your friends. You can also listen to
subscribe.
our mini episodes, our big episodes. You could subscribe. You could send us your scary stories at the horrorcomedypodcast@gmail.com.
You can also send us ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Or pizzas. We accept those.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Kittens?
Whoa, pump your brakes, kid.
We can't have any kittens.
Puppies?
Yeah, sure.
Puppies and kittens. We'll take both
Yeah,
of those.
we'll take pigeons.
Possibly a lizard if anybody's got one. No snakes, though. Fuck off.
And we might have a cat or two that you can take.
No, we don't.
We don't.
She's lying.
I'm lying. Don't forget to drink water.
Don't forget to drink water. Bye.
Bye.